Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our brand new channel here at Greenleaf Property Management. My name is Brett Turner, the co-founder of Greenleaf PM. We've been around since 2009, managing assets for real estate investors here in Calgary. Now, you may have seen me before on our sister branch channel, Redline Real Estate Group, where I provided market updates for the regular consumer, people looking to buy and sell houses that they're going to live in. Well, this channel is aimed at those that are in the industry. So either real estate professionals or real estate investors is who I'm building out the content for on this particular channel. So we're going to do a couple different things here on the Greenleaf PM channel. Not only are we going to provide investor-oriented market updates, but I'm also going to share with you guys some of the tips and tricks and things that I've learned in my 20-year career being in the Calgary real estate market. So I was a realtor for a very long time. I ran an investor-focused team, and all the while we were building up our property management company and made every mistake that you can imagine along the way. And I'm looking forward to sharing all that stuff with you so that you guys don't have to make mistakes along your wealth building journey. All right, so excited to dive into all this stuff, and let's kick it off. Let's dive into our market update. So dove into asking rents on rentfaster.ca. They keep a good data set there. And I was curious to see if we've seen rental rates change much as we're heading into the spring market. And what stood out to me from this is that rent rates just do not move around anywhere near as much as sale prices do. But a couple little trends from here that you can see. Houses are creeping up in value, as are townhouse units and larger two-bedroom condos. So size never goes out of style. And with so much new construction of smaller units coming to market, I do think we're going to see an upward pressure on asking rents for larger units as people that are living in the smaller ones look to trade up and become a bit more comfortable with their living dynamic. In terms of available units, some of the trends are mirrored there. So this is the number of units that are available to rent according to rentfaster.ca for each of the categories that I've tracked here. I didn't bring in apartment style rents just simply because I don't think you guys are likely to buy enormous rental complexes and be managing hundreds and hundreds of them in one particular property. So I left them out because they can skew the data set just a little bit. But anyways, what stood out to me with this is the number of basement suites that are out there, by far the most of them. But what's also interesting is what's coming down. So houses, there's less availability with those, less availability with townhouses and condo units as well. As we're heading into that spring market, those units are being leased up out there. This is the busiest time for sure to be a landlord in Calgary. And this is nice to see. So good to see the units being drawn down and hopefully keeping our rent rates supported as we head into the summer. In terms of rent rates, here they are. So these are the average rent rates. So these are across the entire city for each of these asset classes. So you can see here, townhouses and houses, they're commanding the highest dollar amount just because you're going to have more size there. Condos and two bedrooms and one bedroom condos, about a $400 difference in terms of the valuation there. I thought that was interesting to see the price of a bedroom and what that's valued at as you move up from a one bed to a two bed condo. And then main floors and basement suites have been somewhat consistent around that level for the last little bit. And then days on market. This might be the only time I track this stat because I think it might have something to do with the amount of time you sign up for an ad on Rent Faster, but all of them are just under a month to fill a unit here. We'll see what that looks like next month and whether or not we'll keep tracking that. Okay, news. So there has been a decent amount of news that's hit the airwaves here, and the big one that matters for us here in Calgary is that Carney's committed to getting another pipeline to the west approved by September of next year of 2027. Okay, so this is his, one of his things that he's saying that these projects are in the national interest, and he's wanting to fast track these. He's in Vancouver and in BC and on the First Nations reserves there, talking and building support around what he's looking to do. So I like all of this. It's a big change from the last Liberal leader that we had, and this is all welcome stuff to see this coming through. Locally, though, a couple really cool stories. So this is de Havilland, Canada, breaking ground on a new facility. We're going to be building water bombers right here in Alberta. So this is out just east of Calgary, near Strathmore, but a fantastic project. About 3,000 aerospace jobs are going to be created. Going to be a huge boom for the Strathmore area. And this is in addition to expansions that have gone on at the Calgary International Airport, where Lufthansa has built a new facility there, and there's been an aerospace innovation hub that's been built as well. So really great news for the diversification of our industry here, and I love it. I love airplanes, I love aerospace, and I think this is a super cool story, and hopefully leads to more investments from the aerospace industry here in the Calgary airport. In terms of tourism, a huge big Nordic spa, $100 million spa, is coming up to the west of the city here. Also great for tourism. This is in a community called Harmony as well, just west of Calgary out in Springbank. And it's not a one and done thing either. This development group has got about a dozen projects all over the mountains, and that's a great sign that they're making the commitment to this space and that they see the demand for it. So I love this. You can come into Calgary, do your thing during Stampede, pop out to Harmony here to shake off your hangover at a spa. I think that's a super cool way that they've tried to position this, and yeah, hopefully it sticks for them and is a cool thing. All right, a little bit of shadier news here. So this is a bad boy real estate agent, or former real estate agent anyway, because he got kicked out of the industry and lost his license. Yeah, Eric Drinkwater here perpetrated the largest fraud in Alberta real estate sales history. So he was a realtor that took a bunch of money from investors in terms of promissory notes and things like that. And then said that they were going to be invested in various projects, and of course never did any of that, just kept the money for himself. I don't know what people are thinking, how they think they're ever going to get away with stuff like this. But anyways, the rug came out from underneath him. But this is an ugly story if you're in the real estate industry, because this guy's case took down the largest real estate sales, largest RE/MAX office in the world that we had here in Calgary. Okay, they lost their franchise rights. RE/MAX Canada pulled it and said, you can't call yourself a RE/MAX brand anymore, and so they lost that. And the executive group that was there while Eric was perpetrating his fraud, they're being investigated by the Real Estate Council as well, and we've yet to hear what's going to come out of that. All right, but what is good news around all this, or at least a silver lining, is that our regulator is dishing out some cash to those investment victims in this, who were led to believe that their money was going to be managed or invested properly by a licensed professional, and then it wasn't. All right, so they didn't get everything that they were after out of this. They get a maximum of I think $35,000 each is what they get out of it. And in February of next year, this will go in front of the court and go in front of the judge, and we'll hear a lot more about it at that time. But anyways, good for RECA for stepping up for this, and glad to see that they're taking care of some of the people that lost some money. Okay, let's change topics here to the sales market now. So pricing is the good news story here, all right? We've had 4 months in a row where prices have come up, but we're still down about $20,000 overall from where we were at this time last year, okay? And if you look on the graph here, May of 2025 was basically the beginning of the downturn for last year, where we saw prices drop and drop and drop and drop every single month until December, okay? And then as we turned the corner of the year, we started to build momentum and all of that too. So the red line is a number of sales that you're seeing. This is following the typical cycle that we normally see. Nothing really surprising there. We would just wish to maybe have a few more sales if you're in the real estate sales industry, but pricing coming back has been good to see, and that's been a welcome sign. Now, the change for this month, and what's given me a little bit of pause here, lining up with the thumbnail that we have for it, is we're seeing a lot more inventory coming to market this month than we had last month, but basically the same amount of sales, okay? So this means buyers are going to have a lot more to choose from. It shows us that sellers that want to bring their property to market have been waiting, and we might see a lot more inventory hit the market, which might cause us to lose that momentum that we've had before, okay? And you can see here it's showing up. This is the first month in the last 4 months where months of supply has crept upwards and further into buyer's market territory. Okay, so this is because there's just more listings out there. They're going to take longer to come through, but it's going to mean buyers are going to have more options to pick and choose from and may not feel the need to pay those high asking prices or close to the seller's asking price, which is what you need to have happen if you want to see continued price growth, right? So looks like we're back in buyer's market territory after trending towards balanced territory for the last few months here. And then here we go, broken down one more time here by asset class category for you, because we have seen the real estate sales market basically split into two different types of units, the condo units and then the non-condo or detached units. So if you look here, detached and semi-detached units, those are near balance. We're near 2.5 months worth of supply. But apartment style condos, we got 5 months worth of supply, a sharp uptick in this last month here after they were looking like they might have been recovering. But in May, we saw a lot more units come to market, and row townhouses are kind of the same. We're up in and around that 3.35 months worth of supply metric for that. So that'll certainly be something to watch here in the months to come. And that does it for our very first market update here with Greenleaf PM. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I'm looking forward to our next video where I'm going to give you a little bit of inside information on some things that I've been seeing and what I think you can do to invest in the market here this year. But I'd love to know what you might want to see on the channel. So feel free to drop a comment down in below in the comments and let me know what I can do for you. And I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you subscribe and tune in for the next video too. Thanks very much, guys, and have a good one.